Michael, what's up?
We'd like to say Happy New Year,
Happy
but
New Year! Yeah,
but
but it's not the
it's weird.
happiest New Year.
No, it's like pandemic season 2.
Michael and I are sitting here chatting about how we're gonna keep going on this podcast, and I told him to push record because we have tried to record this podcast 2 different times already, trying to figure out what relevance we have to the world right now because there's so much crap going on.
There's a lot of crap going on, and also and it's important, and I keep coming back to that. It does all tie together, but then it feels for us talking about waste and trash and
Coffee cups.
yeah, coffee cups and whatever, all the stuff that we're talking about, it just doesn't seem as important. But I do think the one thing I keep coming back to is that we have the climate deniers, backed by the fossil fuel industry. They put PR money behind it and fake science, and they got their own right wing media to support them, and they've been burn baby burn, drill baby drill. We got that whole group. Now we have those same people after being convinced that things you see and feel aren't real, right?
Right.
Climate change isn't real because we tell you. Now they don't believe that wearing masks and pandemic and COVID is real, and that's causing a huge problem. They're also being told that the election isn't real and the results aren't real, and so we're gonna try to topple the government. It's like we have a whole part of our country that they're just deniers. They just are sucked into this whole alternate reality, and it's like
Sucked so much far into it that they stormed the Capitol.
yeah, it's like, and so in one respect, we're like, how do we reach those people? And then my opinion is that's not our audience.
Right.
We're here to boost and to encourage the people that are like-minded to ignore all that and move forward with your ethics and your morals and your communities and protect the environment. And I think that is important. But some days it feels like, really, it's like, why? I don't know that while the Capitol's being stormed, it's like, if we released our episode on sustainable coffee that day. It's like, talk about tone deaf. It feels like we're tone deaf too. I don't,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
Michael and I do this podcast because number one, we're trying to reach people, like you said, that have like minds like us and want to know more and want to progress in helping our country and our world do better things for sustainability in all ways. It's all connected. Every little piece. We're dealing with a virus. We're dealing with a lot of unrest, there's racial inequality that we've seen this entire last year, and the divisions between us economically. There's a lot of division in this country that prevents us from unifying behind these types of ideas, right? Michael, we talk about climate change and sustainability regularly because that's really important to us. We think that that's kind of the key to all the madness. If we can somehow solve coming together as a human race and focusing on the things that are going to ultimately sustain us on this earth, that's the most important thing to us. But every
Yeah.
day something different happens and we feel really silly sometimes. And you said this before, and we don't mean, and I'm going to repeat it because it's just kind of true. It's like, oh, we're just two white people talking about things that are really kind of out of reach for a lot of people right now. And we know that. We're just trying to figure out how to talk about it and how to reach anybody right now.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think it's like a lot of everybody's kind of like, what's our purpose, or what do we want to go? We've all had this year of being locked down, thinking, well, how do we want the world to proceed? So I feel like it is important for us to talk about it. But some days, you're right, it seems like, wow, there's so many things to get to before some of these other ideas, but they are all tied together. I don't, that book I keep quoting from Eric Holthaus. It's a book called The Future Earth. You see that?
yes, the
So,
futures.
so I basically have highlighted the hell out of this book because really kind of helped me because it's a positive view of the future. But the thing that came to mind as we're talking about all this and about our relationship is with the environment and what we're doing and how everything's breaking down. So here's the quote: "This breakdown in our society is happening precisely during a breakdown of our atmosphere and ecosystems. It's no coincidence. The atmosphere, the climate is breaking down, the politics are breaking down, people are confused. Our food production is breaking down and killing our environment. And I mean, look what I mean. What it's coming down to with COVID also is like weird factory farmed of wild meats and stuff like that. It's like weird eating habits,
I
right?
feel like we're just getting farther and farther away from our natural process
Yeah,
as humans,
absolutely.
as animals. We are animals, and we've climbed our way up the food chain and we control everything. Currently, we were talking about fossil fuel industries and how money just seems to be behind all of that, behind the supporters with the fossil fuel companies and not making changes to the things that need to happen so that we can sustain our existence. But it just seems like we're getting farther and farther away from the natural processes, in my opinion, of who we are and what we come from. And everything's falling apart because of it, because it's not about sustaining the farmers or their families or our land or anyone across the world. We're just thinking about ourselves, and that's sucks.
Ourselves, and the government is it's sold out to the highest bidder a lot of times. And here we are. People are without jobs and starving and locked downs because you can't even go to work without risking your life. And it's nobody has, the income has dropped significantly for most people in this country. Yet stock market is like through the roof and making money. It's like the rich people will just keep getting richer, and then the ones that service the industries that we can use right now, Jeff Bezos getting richer every single day. It's
Doesn't make
definitely
any
a
sense.
broken system. It's a broken system. Yeah.
And our voices
Uh,
need to be heard. So Michael and I, we do this to be the voice. We talk about things like recycling, like plastic, like fossil fuel companies. Um, we talk about it all. And last year we started this thing based on a local idea. We just wanted to be with other like-minded people and talk about how to get our community together. And we had some events and we met a lot of really awesome people and got connected to a lot of awesome nonprofits. Um, we had some amazing interviews with people that inspired us, and that's what we plan on doing this year. We plan on inspiring our listeners to make one change a day, maybe one change a week, one change a month, couple changes a year. Everything adds up, and you're important. No matter where you come from or how much money you make, you're important. And we see and hear and feel a lot of the sad things that are going on, but we're not here to doom and gloom. We're here to figure out solutions and just
I'm a little doom and gloom.
You're
No,
realistic,
no.
Michael. You're realistic, and I think I understand that now more than ever. We have to be realistic about things too. So the more research we do and the more things that we learn, we think of the more realistic solutions because you can't just say like, "Oh, recycling, just recycle and everything will be fine." Actually, we know a lot more about that now. We know that recycling is not the answer. We know that it's not actually working. So, and it hasn't for a long time. We've just been fed that it has been. So,
See, we believe the plastic recycling myth, just like the anti-climate change people believe there's no climate change. We're
yeah.
we're we're in it. Like if you ask anybody in the sustainability movement, oh yeah, recycle plastic, absolutely, yes. It's
Yeah.
like that's as big of a myth. We're believing this. It's broken. It doesn't work. It actually can't work. I think you and I talked about this previously, but if the plastic, aluminum, tin, and to some extent paper, but mostly aluminum, tin can be recycled over and over and over again. Aluminum indefinitely, just melt it down, make new
Yeah.
stuff out of it. Plastic can only be done once, maybe twice. There's a couple of plastics that could go three times. But so even if the system totally worked, okay, even if we all recycled our plastic, it's only delaying the inevitable. But the bigger thing that I was thinking about the other day is it's like if things are actually being made of recycled plastic and then they get recycled again and it breaks the whole chain, it it's
How
not
many
even
times
designed.
can we do it?
It's not even designed to work as is, because it can't continuously be recycled. So the minute something that's been made out of recycled materials goes into recycling, that chain is broken. So
Yeah.
when you look at it from a common sense perspective, it's not even designed to work if we all did it properly. And so we all just everyone needs to say, okay, we're done with this, and we need to figure something out that doesn't involve sending tons of useless plastic material to third world countries that get washed into the environment and the ocean and burned. We have to take responsibility for what we use.
Being less wasteful.
Less
That's what
wasteful.
Michael
That's the
said.
key. Yeah.
Just be
I
less
mean,
wasteful.
it's not about zero waste. That's impossible. It's a goal. It's this ideal. But I
Right.
think being less wasteful. You're right. That's the term. That's what we all need to work on. Just
Be
be
less
less
wasteful
wasteful.
and be more considerate to yourself, to your neighbor, to the planet. If you love one another, then it's impossible to be that selfish if we're all thinking about how we're going to do this together. I just think, man, the unity in this country it can be really sad. It's hit both Michael and I numerous times. We've had so many challenges this year.
Like
Um,
everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
The whole world is a
yeah,
challenge right now. Yeah.
yeah. But we do this thing because it gives us purpose, and I think everybody's looking for that. They're looking for some way to make a change in the world, or just leave a legacy of some sort. And that's what this podcast does for me. I love coming on here and talking with you about all this stuff. I learn something every single time. Um, but yeah,
And we get inspired by people, and some of this. I talked to one of my friends in Los Angeles about this podcast. He was like, "Oh, I heard a bunch of Nashville stuff, and I tuned out." It was like, "Well, that's not. We're here in Nashville, so we're talking about the solutions that we see locally, but this is to inspire people for global solutions. I mean, you can start your own compost company. You can start a recycling company. You can start a sustainable business. You can make your business more sustainable, or ask the place you work at to be more sustainable. That's the
yeah,
part of the conversation that we're doing. This isn't just like, hey, Nashville's great, blah blah blah, or Nashville's
right.
terrible. It's none of that. It's about this is the things that we see right here. And I think for this year and the future, we're also going to be talking to other cities and see what they're doing, because I'm curious what other cities we talk. You and I have had conversations with people in other cities. We've had conversation with Pittsburgh and Atlanta and Chattanooga and Austin, Texas, those zero waste communities. And I think it's time, we start bringing them on and hearing what they're doing and how maybe we can learn something from what they're doing on their local level that applies here as well.
Hell yeah, I like the
Yeah.
sound of that. They're
Yeah.
universal ideas. And we have to connect with one another to see what works, what doesn't work, get some ideas that maybe we didn't have before. So this is just a place where we can just talk about whatever, however, laugh, make some weird comments, be silly. Yeah, we dig it. I love this thing. I love what we do here, and I'm excited for 2021 because we know a lot more than we did before, and despite all the chaos, we're not stopping. And I think that's the good fight. So be less wasteful.
Be
Keep
less
listening to the
wasteful.
podcast, keep learning things, keep changing things, keep making mistakes because that's how it works. You gotta fail a couple of times to figure it out.
That's right. And, talk to us. Let us know if you're a listener for this podcast, let us know you're a listener. Email us. Email is the best way. Social media is broken as much as anything, and part of the problem, actually.
But we do have accounts on social media if you wanted to check it out. Zero Waste Trash Talk.
The best way would be to email us. Michael at zerowastetrashtalk.com and Maris at zerowastetrashtalk.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Yeah, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So don't be shy.
Yeah, if you have an idea and you want to come on the show and talk, let us know as well, because we'd like to hear your voices. We'd like to hear more than just our voices. We want inspired by other people.
True that. True that. Michael, I love you. Thanks for being a part of this, and I'm really excited for this year. And I think good things are on the horizon, man. We got to believe that anyway. Cause what? I'm not gonna waste my time thinking about all the nasty things going on now. Like,
There you go.
let's just keep moving forward. But other
Keep
than
moving
that,
forward.
cheers to 2021. Happy New Year. Things are gonna look up. We're gonna do it together.